Right, so here we are, and we're on day 4 of our blend roadmap out of lockdown, getting you back to practice. So what we've been doing a blend of covering the preparation for the administration side of your business. So we've looked at being set up to do emails through the likes of MailChimp, so you can do like automations, and you can get reports out so that you can see who's answered your or who's opened your emails, who hasn't, and then you can retarget the people that need it. We've also looked at setting up online scheduling, and that is another amazing way to automate your business because it just saves you so much time, and clients really like it. They like having that freedom to just pop on and switch an appointment round. And that was on day 2, I believe. So we've covered all of that, including reassuring people who are concerned about opening up their diaries for anyone to walk into. There's so much. We recommend Acuity. We're not affiliated in any way, but it's what I use for my practice, so I know a bit about it. And essentially, it's so easy to ensure that people, you can block off your time, you have great control over the diary. So that is the administration side that we've been looking at so far. We've also given you 2 suggested emails in a sequence that you can use to help you ease people back in without having to actually book them in, because what's happened in the past is people having to book everybody in for the first appointment after the lockdown, and then Boris changes the goalposts and we've all had to cancel and rebook. We're trying to minimise the admin and free the stress. So we've given you a sequence. If you've not seen day 1 and 2 and 3, go back and take a look at those, and you can get an idea of how to do those emails. Now, so the other thing that we were looking at was what to expect when your clients arrive. Okay, so what the client can expect from you, what you can expect from them. This was a really important part of the second email that I suggest that you write in the sequence, because the first email, some people will get people immediately responding, yes, I want to get on the wait list, put me down, and then we're going to email them on the 6th to let them know if they're going to be coming in the week after. So that's great, but what we've suggested that you do for your second email, and you send it to the whole group again, is to say thank you and what to expect when they arrive, what you expect from them, what they expect from you. And that's about actually reassuring the people who still haven't booked yet, because they might have some objections around safety and things. They might read that and go, oh, actually, that's really reassuring. Now I'll contact her. So that's the idea of that. And tomorrow I'll be giving you the 3rd email in the sequence to help you mop up the rest. So so that's tomorrow. So that's, I'm losing track of days. So that's day 5, that's tomorrow. We'll be looking at that final email in the sequence. The other thing that we've had you doing, apart from administration type things, is practical stuff. So going into your practice, going into your clinic, taking a look around, doing a big clean now if you wish, so you have less to do, the day before you go in. Checking your stock. So checking your stock, not just for equipment and products, but your PPE. And the question we keep getting asked is, what are we going to have to do this time? Is it going to be different? I would say that what you need to do is at the very least what you were doing before. I don't anticipate that they're going to add to the kind of PPE you've got to do, but you would certainly need to be doing the very minimum of what you would be doing before. So what I'm going to be suggesting people do today is to make sure that they've updated their risk assessment. So everyone had to do a risk assessment in order to return to work in the first place, and you should be doing regular risk assessments anyway whenever things change. So that is something that you need to think about and have that in place as well before you open your doors. So that might be something, again, that you might want to schedule in later this week if you're going to, if you've been in ordered stock and then you're going to go back to your clinic to drop it off, take another walk through your practice, update your risk assessment, and make a record that you've updated it. That's what it's about. It's about you, if something happened or something went wrong, you'd be able to show them a document that says, on the 10th of April, I did this and I updated my risk assessment ready. So all the little things that you might not be thinking of because we're also, you know, everyone's getting in a bit of a, we're nearly back. And the other thing is, you are going to be really busy. You're going to be busy when you get back because, you know, people are dying to get a treatment, literally. So, so that's one of your tasks from today, is to look at your risk assessment. And the other thing I wanted to talk about today in terms of the roadmap was the things that we were doing before, for sure, that we were absolutely told we should be doing, is online consultations. So if you're not doing that, if you're not set up for that, you really should be. And you should be working towards being set up for that now. We've talked a little bit about this on the previous videos, on the previous days, but I really want you to consider this now. If you're doing it, great. Still go back through, you know, all the things that you have to be set up to do that. Make sure everything's working fine. Make sure that your forms, etc., are all in order. If you're not doing it, then you really need to consider it, because, and here's the good news, if you've been following this series and you've been taking daily actions, then you have already got some stuff set up. So you've got yourself set up for MailChimp, for your emails, for your clients. You've got yourself set up for online scheduling. Most of you are set up for Zoom, because you're here on a Zoom. Some of you are here on the Zoom that I'm doing at the moment. But if you're not using it for online consultations, then there's lots of other things that you do need to know before you actually go online with a client. So the thing is, why do you have to do online consultations? Well, you are absolutely advised from the scientists, from the government, from your professional associations, that it's not okay to be sat in a room with someone for, I think some people are saying 45 minutes and some are saying an hour, depending on which PA you're with. What they also state is that the less you must minimize talking when you're in an enclosed space. It adds to the danger. The more you speak, you know, it's an aerosol, yeah, it's airborne. So every time you speak, you are pushing more potentially virus out there. So to sit in a room with someone for 30 minutes just to talk, that's an unnecessary risk, when you could do that in an online situation. So if someone's booked in for you, the other thing that you want to think about is most people are still in the system where they have hourly appointments. Now, if they've booked in for an hour and then you have to spend 20 minutes probably of that time getting them set up for the appointment, going through their intake forms, and don't forget, I'm going to say this as well, you haven't seen your clients for 3 months. You need to do a full medical history. You should be checking medical history at every single appointment. If you see someone weekly, if they've done a full intake on week 1 and they come back on week 2, you should always ask the question, has your medical history changed since the last time I saw you? That should be asked at every single appointment. Medical histories change all the time and people don't tell you. I went into hospital with COVID, perfectly fine in every other way. I came out with diabetes. That was something that was kicked off, partly by having COVID and partly by the treatment they gave me for COVID. So I'm now a diabetic. So if you hadn't seen me from Christmas till now, you wouldn't know that. Okay, so everyone that's coming back in now, it's been at least 3 months since you've been in touch with them. You need to be doing a full intake. So if someone's booked in with you for an hour for the first appointment and you're not doing this stuff online, that's at least a 30 minutes just sitting, talking in a room. And then they're going to be mightily annoyed that they've lost half of their appointment talking, because they've still got to pay you for your time. It's essential stuff. And don't forget, you haven't just got your intake form, you've got your COVID forms, and they're separate from your intake forms, and they have to be done at every appointment. You have to do the COVID check at every appointment, you know, checking for the symptoms, you know, what's changed in the past. And another thing that you're going to want to be checking with now is, have they had their jab? Because if they have, you want to know, when did they have it? And me personally, I would leave them for at least a week. Some people are saying leave it a couple of days, you know, till their arms, you know, not as sore. A lot of people that I mean, my personal experience of having had my jab was it knocked me out for nearly 10 days. Maybe because I had COVID not so long ago and my body overreacted to it. But lots of people are saying they feel a bit rough for up to a week. And what nearly everyone says is you're all right the first day, and it's a couple of days later that your arm gets really sore, you start to feel a bit groggy. So you need to be asking that question. That needs to be added to your intake form, your medical history form, and your COVID form. Have you had your jab? When did you have it? When are you booked in for your second jab? Or have you had both? You know, so record all of that. So this is a lot of stuff that you've got to get down, yeah, before you can put your hands on them. So does it not make utter sense to be doing that in a lovely, relaxed manner on Zoom? And just to let you know, anything that you do, telehealth-wise, which is what we're talking about, it's essentially, that's what it's called, has to be done face-to-face, which is why we use Zoom. Get it all done in a 30-minute consult the day before the appointment. And if you're doing it that way, it means that when they walk through the door on the day of their appointment, it's as simple as, hey, and don't forget you've sent the email, they know what to expect, and they know, you know, what's going to happen when they come in. You're just going to say to them, just go straight in and get changed and get on the bed, and then you're going to go in, and they still get their full 45, 50-minute treatment. And let's not forget something. What do clients buy? They don't buy. Well, they do buy you to a degree. There has to be a chemistry. But what they don't buy is fluffy towels and candles. What they buy as a result. So if you're having to minimize the time on the bed because you're doing all the admin stuff before they get on the bed, that's going to affect results, and they're not going to be happy. So the system that I've been suggesting for 12 months, so I wrote my Take Your Practice Online course in March last year because I knew instantly that this was something we were going to have to get our heads around. And the system that I've been suggesting to everyone that does that course and anyone that listens, frankly, is that you can you'll get your client to book in the day before their physical appointment for a 30-minute online consultation. And what that means is with using the system that I'm giving you in these free sessions, using the Acuity, etc., is that they get all the forms done before they even book the appointment. And then when you see the appointment come through, then you can look over the forms so you know where they're up to. So if, for example, in the forms it says, you know, I'm going for my jab in the morning, before I come to see you, you can get on the phone and you can say to them, right, we need to change your appointment. Okay, so it's really, really important that you can do that. And then it means that you can look for any other red flags. It also means that if their medical history's changed since the last time you saw them, then you can deal with that. And don't forget, this information, if they're using Acuity to book, they're filling these forms in as they book. So their appointment, if you've invited them to book on the 6th of April and they then book, you get that information that day. So if there is a red flag, or they have just had the jab, or they're planning on having the jab the week after, you'll see that. You can get onto them straight away and say, we're going to have to rearrange your appointment. So they have notice, you have notice. Okay? Your actual consultation with them, you will do the day before. Now, the other thing that I've been suggesting people do to really manage their diaries is a lot of, you know, well, not a lot of us, all of us have been told that what we must do, and this is to do with the talking and the aerosol generation, is ventilate. The government have finally come out and said it's the biggest thing that we can do. That's why we're being allowed to sit outside with our friends in groups of 6. Outdoors, there's very little evidence of transmission happening if you stay your 6 feet away, 2 meter distance. So in terms of managing your diary, because one of the things that I've had a lot of therapists say to me as well is, you know, my days are twice as long, but I'm still only earning the same amount of money because I'm having these 45-minute to an hour breaks between clients because I'm having to clean and ventilate. And once I've cleaned, and you know, if you're getting really good at it, most of us do, become really slick at it. You might get your cleaning done in 20 minutes, but you still got to sit for 25 minutes minimum while you ventilate the room. So what I've been suggesting to people is that you have a system whereby say for example, you were working Tuesday and Wednesday, So on the Monday, yes, you would book in all of your consultations for Tuesday then. But on Tuesday, if you actually leave an hour between each physical client, that gives you time to clean, ventilate, and perform a consultation for the clients the next day. So now you've got a flow, and you don't have that sense of sitting there for an hour going, oh God, there's so many things I could be doing right now. So, clean, ventilate, do a consultation for the next day. And the other thing is, again, what I've been teaching people forever, you should be charging for your consultations. The fact that you are spending 30 minutes on a separate appointment with your client, what I'm finding with the people who've been doing my Take Your Practice online course is that it's working really well. They're charging for that time, so they're actually increased their income. They are getting some money back for those hours that they're not able to work in between the physical clients, because they're doing consultations that they're being paid for. And the clients are loving it. The clients are saying to them, it's actually really nice, because we can sit and catch up and have a bit of a chat. You're not like watching like, oh, hang on, you've been in the room 20 minutes, this isn't okay, we can't talk for that long. So it's a way to also increase your revenue, and then make sure that they get their full time on the table to get the best effect. And the other things that you can do during that 30 minutes, you can do a move and postural assessment. We've proved this time and again at Blend. We've shown people how to do it. There's a short course on the website called Back to Practice, and it's a 3-hour live session that we did all about how to do your online consultation and how to do a move and postural assessment. We did it recently in my free SCAR course, and people were blown away by what they could see online. And you can also give them their rehab exercises during that session, because you've seen what they're coming in with, and you can say, okay, so this is, I want you to move, I want you to walk up and down, and this is what I'm going to look at, and then here's some exercises that you can be doing, okay, after your treatment. So you can, that means they're in and they're out. And the fact that, you can get them to pay online and everything, anything that minimises contact, okay, and minimises talking. And the thing is, the world is changing, so people do expect more of this now. But here's the thing, so if you're in typo, as I call it for short, great, all this stuff, it is the perfect time for you to go in and double check you've got everything ready to start again. And if you're not, you can, of course, go and research all the things that you need to be compliant. You need to know what you need to do to make sure that your insurance company are happy with you working online and what their stipulations are around that. And then you're also going to know how to make sure that you've got everything in place in terms of your forms and your paperwork, because it is different. It's different for telehealth. It's different for online work. Things like your informed consent form, that are all additional too. You're also probably going to want to be able to make sure that you've got everything in place to be really professional and be confident on camera. And this is about providing an upgraded service. You are up-leveling your service to your clients, so it's really important that you're doing this professionally. So within the Take Your Practice online course, we also talk about things like checklists. So anyone who's not used to working online and doing live, face-to-face stuff online, what's the thing that stops most people doing that is fear. Yeah, or what if something goes wrong, or in the middle of it, I need something and it's not there. So we even provide you with the checklists for you, checklists for your client, and you send the client the checklist. So we have these gorgeous client onboarding packs that have got everything in, and you just send them in. Just send it to them by an email, and it tells them everything, what they can expect when they arrive, but also things like for their Zoom session, what they need to do the day before, what they need to bring with them on the day, what time they need to arrive, what will happen after the Zoom, all these checklists. And then the same kind of checklist for you. What do you need to do the day before? What do you need to do on the morning? Even something as simple as remembering to plug in your phone the night before. Nothing worse in the middle of a consultation and your tech goes down. And there are things that you have to do and have in place in case that happens. So by all means, you can go and you can research all of that for yourself. But we teach you that, is what I'm saying. So if you do need that, what you can do is you can go, I'll be dropping the link in our Blend Friends Forever group so that you can go to the website, or just if you're on the website now, go to the menu and look at the online courses and click on Take Your Practice Online. You'll read in there all the things that we include. Now, the biggest thing about that is it's all done for you. And all you have to do is download all that information and transpose it into your business. And that means that within less than 2 days, you could be ready to be online and doing your consultations. So this is why it's a great time right now. We've got 2 weeks to go. If you're stuck with that and you're thinking, I know I need to do it and I haven't, you could download that and you could be set up well before the end of the week, all ready to go with your online consultations. So what I would say to people is that you know, the things around getting yourself prepared for the 12th or whatever day it ends up being. What you want to do is be able to walk back in your practice and just be overjoyed to be there, not be stressing, not be worrying about, you know, I forgot to do this, I haven't done that. We're trying to give you as many things as we can in this really short series to help you be prepared well in advance so you can be super relaxed. But I am going to invite people to let me know if there's other things that they think they might need help with, or if they've got questions and so on. And the best way to do that is to join our Blend Friends Forever group on Facebook. If you're not already in it, come and join us. It's a lovely group full of wonderful people. And that is a great place to come and ask those questions, and also let us know, what do you need from me? What do you need help from? I mean, we've started our blog finally. Vlog and blog. I prefer video than writing. And I'd like all of you, I'm inviting you all to let me know through the Blend Friends Forever Facebook group, what other things would you like to learn? What other things would you like to see in our blog? What other advice might you like for within your business or your practice or your treatments or anything, so that we can start to really build out this resource for you and make it as useful as possible. So, little recap. Tomorrow we're going to be, today you're going to go and look at all your forms, all your paperwork, make sure that you're all set up to be ready to return to work and to be set up to do online consultations. You're going to do maybe a virtual, even in your head, walk through, you know, risk assessment, update the risk assessment ready for that. And then tomorrow we're going to give you the last email for collecting the last of the people who haven't contacted you yet. Day 6, we're going to look at pricing. Okay, so it's really important, because when people start to go into this 90-minute model as opposed to that 60-minute, you know, with the half and half appointment of someone being online, people get a bit stuck with pricing. So we're going to look at that on day 6. We'll look at the pricing and also how you can manage your finances better with packages of treatment. Okay, so don't forget, if you want to know more about Take Your Practice Online, if you're not already online with your clients, go and take a look at that on the website in the main menu. And that's it for today. So best of luck, and I'll see you all for day 5.